Shanti. Increase the practice of the bodiless stage, ashariri or videhi, awareness of form of lightness. The more you remain light in the avyakta form, that is, of having the practice of being beyond any awareness of your body, of being bodiless for 2 to 4 minutes, the more it will be like taking a rest for 4 hours. Such a time will come when instead of sleeping, you will become bodiless for 4 to 5 minutes, and your body will have had rest. By making your awareness of this form of lightness very strong, you will become very light in settling your karmic accounts. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Avyakti Parivar. Today's day 20. Increase the practice of the bodiless stage. Ashariri or Videhi. Today's topic, awareness of form of lightness. Now we will listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti. So you are happy, your fortune is to be always happy. But some say we are settling. Right? Settling is battling, suffering. But Baba has taught us that while settling, you can also earn income by making good efforts, by doing service. Sometimes settling is through the mind, by having lot of useless thoughts. But now Baba has said, children always have good wishes for yourself, for others, so that you don't waste thoughts, but you are using thoughts, that those thoughts will help you for your efforts and also for service. And both will help you to have income. Times of whatever reasons, if there is pain in body or it's bothering you. But Baba says, practice bodiless stage. Be in soul consciousness and just say, because this is the body through which you were able to meet Baba. Through your eyes you met Baba, through your ears you listened to Baba, through your mouth you can speak knowledge. If you didn't had body, how would you do that? So Baba keeps saying, say Vahava to your body, even whatever is happening. In relationship, good feelings, good wishes. So Baba actually helps us that while settling, aim to keep earning. Earn more and more. Don't worry. Don't waste time or thoughts or breath. Constantly earn. Many times we used to ask, say, Dadis, oh, this is Baba's child, Brahmin. Why still cannot be sweet, or sweet with some, bitter with others? So Baba always used to say it's karmic accounts. But also Baba used to say, let them be whatever, but you have good wishes for them. Maintain your happiness. Sometimes it doesn't feel real, right? You are settling and you are happy. Baba says, yes, you can be happy. It's settling, no? So it's over. That means you don't have to go through again. So do it with happiness. Use tolerance. Keep balance. Whatever power is required, use that power while settling. So it's settled, means it's finished. So one is by paying off, one is it's over. Especially with relationships. It's okay, it's over. Somebody said something, thought something, it's over. Once I do not react, once I do not create again and again, we just say it's over. Let's think positive now. Okay, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Sister Gayatri. Om Shanti, Abhyakti Parivar.
Om Shanti, Karen.
Such an honor to be here with you tonight. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I am fabulous. I just got back from Maduban, so still riding the wave.
Oh, so be as Baba said, or as the Murli was saying that was being read, that you brought back the vibrations from Maduban and you're now spreading it through the whole world, the Western world.
Yes. So I was kind of struck by the talk about the blessings of Maduban.
Mhm.
So can you tell me a little bit more about the blessings of Maduban? Is it because it's where Bob Dada came and spoke the Avyak or spoke all the Murlis actually? Or is it because of all the yoga that takes place there, of the karmic actions that take place there, all the service that's being done? What tell me a little bit more about these blessings of Madhaban.
You know, there is a saying, and I suppose in all cultures and all religions, there's been remembrance of this. And that is, there are places that are blessed. Just as how people have got fortune, I think places have fortune. And Madhuban is one such place that is blessed. And the blessing is it was the land that Shiv Baba came on. And through Brahma Baba, he did his divine acts. Now, the divine acts of God on that bhumi, that Brahma, the land that Brahma actually lived and did most of his tapasya and did most, and Shiv Baba did most of the divine acts of creation, sustenance, and transformation of Brahma Baba's life, but also Brahma Baba became the pioneer for others to see the path that they had to follow. Now, there must have been the cooperation. Why nowhere else in the world but in Mount Abu, but in Madhuban, which is basically concentrated in Pandav Bhavan? No one could answer that question, just as how no one can answer the question why Brahma Baba was the one Shiv Baba came into. So the place and the person and this act of God's incarnation on earth gave that land a blessing that no other land has. So anyone who actually steps on that earth, on that land, vibrationally is raised, which means is elevated just vibrationally. They may not know why they're feeling so good. They may not know why is it that I suddenly feel as though there is some kind of fortune being awakened in my life. Even if they're not Brahmins, they just happen to cross that land or step on that land. The the um, the blessings of God is felt at a very, very incognito vibrational level. So those who are aware of Baba's incarnation on that land and aware of Brahma Baba's activities in terms of Bapdada, then when we go there, we are opened up much, much deeper and much, much bigger to receiving those blessings without making any effort. You know, you just go and sit in Baba's room, and if we stop thinking too much about why we're in his room and just relax, then we go into that receiving mode, and Baba just fills us with his blessings as the Father, the inheritance, the right to that inheritance. You know, we go and sit by the Tower of Peace. Again, if we don't think too much, what is the angelic form? You just feel yourself just rising into being in that body of light, being where Brahma Baba transcended from the corporeal to the avyakt. That's the Tower of Peace. You go and you sit in the history hall. What happens there? You know, you feel as though you've got a right to all the treasures of knowledge, and you're exposed to the 14 years of tapasya that happened at the beginning. And so each pilgrimage place that we go into, Baba's hut, you know, that was where Baba opened his heart in writing letters to all his children. So each place it opens the person and opens the soul to receiving blessings directly from Bapdada and without making efforts, I think.
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting. I was on my way to Pandabavan and I was sitting next to one of the Maduban Narvasis, and I kind of was skipping class to go have yoga, and I ended up getting a class while I was on the bus. And what she told me was just sit, just go sit.
Mhm.
And I was actually looking for an answer to a situation. And when I did, I got the answer. And like you said, I didn't really work very hard. I just went and sat with Baba. But I was thinking too, um, like a baby, when the baby's born, they're just like a loaf of bread. They're just laying there. And by the time they're a year old, they're walking. And
Mhm.
there's a lot of steps that have to take place between that infancy to being able to walk.
Mhm.
But they intuitively know what they need to do to make that happen. And so I was thinking, is there an intuition in the soul that I know I have to become pure? And I'm tapping into that intuition to take the steps I need to take to get there? Or do you think it's just Baba's blessings? How do you think that works?
I think it's more than an intuition. I think it's a memory recalled. I
Hmm.
think it's an awareness. You know, smrti means awareness, but it also means to recall a memory. So one is an intuition, a gut feeling, but the other is really being remembering something. And that memory suddenly becomes alive in the present. It's as though I'm living that memory again, a deja vu. You know, I'm just living that memory that's been embedded in the subconscious of the soul, because all 5,000 years somehow emerges at different times, and we remember those moments that are within us. So I feel that that is what it is. When it's the right time, right place, and I'm there, right time, right place, I remember.
Hmm.
It's the accuracy of the repetition, the predestination of the drama. And I remember only in that moment because I am going to relive that moment in the now of that moment. So it's not a question of past or future, but it's a question of being alive in the moment, reliving a memory. that is real, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel that is what happens. And when that is remembered, relived to that moment in Maduban, it is as if the soul is open now to all the treasures of the blessings of its parent, of its spiritual parent. I think it's also the what's the word I'm looking for? The bliss or the true love experience in the meeting with Baba. And that is in the moment. It's no longer, I am remembering him, I'm seeking his love. Everything becomes so real that that moment becomes an everlasting moment. It becomes an eternal moment. And so it's the experience of the eternal in the moment that is, I think, the highest form of spirituality. It's an experience. Spirituality is the experience.
Mm,
And it's the experiencing of what is true and real, what is eternal and divine.
beautiful. I love that, experiencing the treasures of the parent and being in the moment, experiencing the eternity. Nice. So another question I have is
And by
that,
the way, Karen, babies, I don't think are like loaves of bread.
well,
I think even if you put
we
them
have,
in
they
the
don't move firstborn. You just lay them and you come
they
back.
don't walk. They don't walk. But when you said that, I was remembering babies in their cribs, in their cradles. And you lean over them, and usually they used to have that carousel thing
Yes.
with
The
the and
mobile.
they would be, yeah, and they would be communicating with that. They would be laughing, they would be moving their limbs, they would be kicking their little legs. They would want you to take them up, to lift them up. So that's not a loaf of bread. That's really active.
Okay. Another question I have is about yesterday's Murli. Baba said that we are unique magicians. And he was talking about that we change human beings into deities and that he too is the magician. And I feel like we like to throw the term Baba's magic around. Like it was Baba's magic, the visa came on time. It was Baba's magic, the VIP came to the program. It was Baba's magic, I got the parking spot in the front. I feel like we throw this term around, but are there finite things Baba can and cannot do? And are we misusing this term of Baba's magic? And in what way are we too that have that magic?
Well, it's interesting because what is magic? Magic is something that I think happens suddenly and in your favor, right? So that could be interpreted as a magic moment. I didn't expect to get a parking place. Oh my God. And it was like waiting for me. And so thank you, Baba. So I don't think it is so much Baba doing it, but because we have no one else to give the credit to,
Mhm.
kind of give it to Baba and Drama. So the combination of aligning the stars so that things happen in my favor without effort. So that could be referred to as magic. But I think the magic that Baba was talking about in yesterday's Murli is truly the magic of God, because no human being can change from a human being into a deity without an intervention by God. And so God's intervention is an intervention that makes magic happen in the soul. Now, what he also said is that I inspire you, whether it was in relation to the magic he was talking about yesterday or even today with remembrance, I inspire you. He never says, I influence you. God is not an influencer.
Mhm.
He inspires us. And the magic that he's the magician in which he inspires us with such profound altruism. In other words, he wants nothing from us. All he wants is for us to be the best versions of ourselves. And he wants to kind of inspire us to walk that path of discovery so that when it comes back to us, it is so magical that we don't even give ourselves credit for the efforts we made because those efforts were inspired by God.
Mm.
And so we turn around and say, if it wasn't for Baba, this would not have happened, which is true. If it wasn't for Baba's inspirations and Baba like holding our hands so that we could walk the path that he is showing us, and it becomes magical because what he's saying, the magic is the love that you're walking the path with. The magic is you shouldn't have questions about the path because I'm helping you. I'm answering them all for you. The magic is that when the obstacles and the problems come your way and you look down, you will only see one set of footprints because I'll be carrying you at that time. The magic is that Baba takes on the form of all relationships, so nothing is missed in terms of relationships in our life. So that's the kind of magic he is talking about, that the soul is really, really fascinated by when it's walking this path. And on top of it all, the magic is the soul feels itself to be the hero of its own journey, even though it's holding Baba's hands. Baba instills in the soul that you are the hero. I'm just your backbone. I am just, holding you up, but you are walking. So I feel that that was the magic he was talking about, and he was talking about it more than uh, an outcome, something that I will get to at the end of the journey. He wasn't talking about the end product. He was talking about a process in which he involves himself moment by moment, step by step, as we walk this journey with him.
Mm. Yeah, I love that. Baba is the perfect parent that he empowers us
Mhm.
to be the heroes of our story. And I like what you said about how we don't give ourselves credit for all the efforts that we made to put ourselves in that position. And I'm thinking when it comes to, sometimes we expect Baba's magic, especially when we're doing service. And is there a due diligence requirement on our part there? Or can we just expect the magic?
Of course, there's always due diligence. You can't be careless and
Right.
you can't say, oh, I'm just not going to make the effort and let everything happen. Baba says he is Karan Karavanhar. He's the one who does and is making me do. For a change, Baba, you just do, and I'm not going to do anything. You just make it all happen. But that is not what Baba is teaching us or coaching us to
Mhm.
understand. What he's saying, I am Karan Karavana. You are drawing the power from me that is transforming the quality of your actions. So success doesn't lie necessarily in how many people showed up or if the VIP showed up or not. It cannot. Success, the kind of success that Baba talks about and the due diligence we should have is it's not something external, but it is something that how it makes me feel. Doing that service for Baba, what was the feeling it left with me? And he was saying that if it left within you a feeling of contentment, of having stepped into the opportunity given to you by Baba to serve, and that brought you the quality of contentment, then that is the success. Because I could do the biggest of programs and a lot of people could participate. But if I didn't see myself as an instrument and Baba as Karan Karavanhar, then I would still be discontented with it. And I've had a few experiences because I know what I'm talking about. And yet I would do something very little. and feel such a deep sense of contentment. And so that is what he's talking about in terms of success. What did you accumulate from that action that you did that you would now be looking at as a reward for your future? And what have you accumulated is very important to measure success with.
Beautiful. And I love that needing to feel content with the efforts that I made.
Mhm.
That's the reward.
Mhm. And I'm now convinced that it's not the big things that matter so much as we
Mm.
are coming to the end of the cycle and as time is closing in on us. But small is beautiful, that concept. Small is beautiful. Small is powerful. Small is impactful. So if I pay attention to the drops, the magnitude of those drops will show me a different picture, as opposed to if I want the magnitude, but the drops are weak and the drops become insignificant in my life, then the magnitude will just overwhelm me and kind of suck me into it. But it is the amplification of the drops that make things worth the while. And so pay attention to the drops, the small things in life. They are the impactful things. They are the powerful things. And that's why I love this aspect that Baba says. The final paper is a drop. It's of 1 second.
Right.
It's not a multiple choice of how much did you remember from the knowledge, but it is that 1 second, that drop of unadulterated remembrance that makes all the difference.
Mm. So is that what you mean by drops, as having that unadulterated remembrance?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And the drop in which, after having the unadulterated remembrance, and someone comes in front of you, they may have so much going on for them, but can I take one drop of love and offer it to them? Even if I can't offer the whole ocean at that time, can I just offer a little to them? Give them the little that they can receive rather than giving them a whole lot that they they don't want at that moment. So this is what I'm calling the drops. It's the drops that matter, but they are potent drops. They are powerful drops, and it's like you're planting that little seed. A drop is like a seed in the soul of the other, with just a word, a smile, a drishti, just listening to them, a touch, and they move away with that seed. And then that seed begins to grow in their lives. And then when they want more, they come back to you
Mm.
and they will ask for more. So that's what I meant.
Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. I think we are out of time.
Okay, that's interesting. We're out of time. Yeah. But
But
thank you, Karen. It was wonderful. Your questions were very, very beautiful. But in closing, I want to say one thing that really struck me in what we're going to be practicing tomorrow. And
mm,
that is, there will come a time when we won't be able to sleep.
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and then we will have a few minutes, 2 or 4 minutes, whatever it is, of yoga, of remembrance of Baba. And it would feel as though we had 4 hours or so of sleep. Oh my God, I'm going to practice that tonight.
That is some magic.
That is a magic, isn't it? That's a magic you were talking about, in which yoga becomes sleep. It
Yeah.
substitutes sleep. But the thing is, nowadays, when people go into yoga, the first thing they do is sleep. As soon
Mm.
as they sit to do yoga, they fall asleep. So what Bob is saying now, if I have 2 or 3 minutes of yoga, it will stop me from falling asleep.
Yeah, and I'm thinking you'd have to be bodiless to the point that you renounce telling yourself that you need that sleep. Because how much of it is that I really need the sleep, and how much of it is my belief that I need the sleep?
That's right. How much of it is the soul telling the body, and how much of it is the body telling the soul? So if the
Mm.
soul is saying, I am in Baba's remembrance, and these 2 seconds will refresh every single cell in you, and the soul is saying that as a master, of course, with compassion and care and love for the body relaxes. And then the body says, okay, I'm refreshed. But if the body is saying to the soul, you're not paying attention to me, you're just driving me, you're just doing the things I no longer can do. So when the body says no to the soul, then the body will go to sleep, and the soul will then have to let that body go to sleep because the soul is saying no. The body is saying no to the soul. So I think what Baba is saying, if you are the master and you recognize the needs of the body and you keep taking care of this body and nurturing the body and giving the body what it needs, then there will come a time when the body will be so in tune with you, the soul, that when you have 2 or 3 minutes of yoga with Baba, all the cells, all the whole bodily systems would say, awake time, alert time, attention time. And so it comes alive, it becomes alert, and it doesn't want to sleep anymore.
Mm. That's a very interesting concept of the interplay between the soul and the body.
That's right. And that's what a little bit of what Sister Mohini was saying as well, what Didi was saying when she spoke to us, that when the body is settling its karmas, then at that time, the soul needs to give the body the nurturing the body needs. It needs to be happy, it needs to be patient, it needs to be something that would give the soul, give the body what it needs. And we sometimes forget that. We say, oh, why am I, I'm going through this, oh, that. And we can get despondent and disheartened. But she's saying, no, recognize that the body needs the kind of help and give it to it at the time it needs it.
It's almost like the soul is playing the role of the mother to the body.
That's right, nurturing the body. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Beautiful. And I know you were also in Qatar, so maybe another time you could share with us about Qatar. But what?
Ah, yes, that was wonderful. Wonderful. Well, I am delightfully content with our conversation.
And so it's really, I didn't expect you, but I knew you were going to be interviewing me just a few minutes before coming on. Uh,
Uh-huh.
but it's wonderful. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Gayatri Ben. Such a pleasure. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.